Hi, it's Michelle, and welcome to vlog 14 of my vlog series for my new book Identity, which is available to be purchased at www.amazon.com or www.amazon.com.au. And this final chapter is called My Saving Grace. So basically, all the other chapters of my book deal with my whole journey of how it started before I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder in the very beginning, how I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, what happened with the relationship breakdown between Thomas and I, coming back home to Melbourne and experiencing, going through another episode after being dumped by Thomas by email, and becoming manic again, and what my experiences were like in various treatment facilities with being part manic and part depressed. And I've spoken briefly about how my mental illness has affected the people around me who I hold very dear to my heart, and some of those people have cut me out of their life completely, and some people thankfully have forgiven me for what I've done and when I was unwell, and have welcomed me back into their life, and I've been able to maintain those relationships with them, and I'm very grateful for that. And in the last chapter I spoke about how basically the combination of everything, I guess, of just hitting rock bottom made me look at my life of really what was happening, and made me assess what options I had left to do with my life, because obviously everything that I was doing wasn't working. I had tried, partying and drinking and getting drunk and smoking pot and reading self-help books and getting into New Age philosophy, and doing the law of attraction, and doing affirmation cards, and all of these things, even if in some way I was able to do the things that I wanted to do, they didn't bring any lasting contentment or satisfaction. I was happy or joyful for a short amount of time, but nothing seemed as though it would stick. I was trying to fill a void in my heart that didn't seem to be able to be filled with anything, and I was so broken all the time. Every time I would try to make a relationship work, it would end up just in pieces, and I'd end up with a broken heart, and I'd end up being rejected time and time again, or I would get confused and walk away from relationships because I didn't feel loved, or I would be set up to be put in relationships that I wasn't necessarily comfortable in when I was partially still unwell or coming out of a manic episode, and I was taken advantage of. And there were all these experiences that were so horrible that I had to go through to be able to realize that perhaps there was one option that I hadn't really considered before, and that I didn't really take seriously, and that I had my own misconceptions about, because I didn't want to have to change. I didn't want to commit my life to Jesus. I didn't want to be honest about the things that I'd done that I was ashamed about. I didn't feel worthy, I guess, in a way. I didn't feel like I was worth his time, that everything that I had done in my life, that even though bad things had happened to me, I hadn't necessarily been good all my life as well, and I just wanted to be loved. And as much as I know and I knew that my family loved me and loves me, and I had friends and all of that. There was nothing and no one that could fill this void that I felt within me. And then on the 17th of September 2017, when I was given the opportunity to surrender my life to Christ and ask Him to forgive me of all my sins and to say thank you for Him suffering and taking my place on the cross, that's when there was like a spark within me that ignited light within my life, within my being. And somehow there was hope in amidst all that pain and all that suffering that I had been through. When I thought of Jesus on the cross, and I thought about how much pain He'd gone through, even though He'd never done anything wrong, that's when I started to change on the inside. And one of the things that I quote from the Bible, one of the scriptures that I quote from the Bible in this chapter is Jeremiah 29, verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. I didn't know that God had a plan for me with this book. Without Jesus, it would never have been possible to even accomplish this. I had tried for such a long time, for almost a decade on my own. But when I got down on my knees and I surrendered to Christ and I asked Him to help me get this book out to you guys, to the world, to tell my story, because I just sensed deep down in my heart that at least one person would be able to relate, and one person would be able to come to Christ and be able to heal, because I swear He will help you heal. He will bring people into your life. He will help you. He has done so much in my life since I came to Him that I'm actually writing a second book about it, which I can't wait to finish and share with you guys. But I'm just speechless at Him and what He is able to do in a person's life. I'm not saying that when you come to Christ that your life magically gets better and that every issue that you've ever had to face just disappears, because it doesn't. He will help you face the issues that you have in your life, and He will help you heal from those issues in your life. And I still struggle from time to time with depression. I still struggled from time to time with anxiety. But He's brought me so much. I still attend the church that I was led to in 2017. So it's been almost 3 years, and I've been attending Bible study lessons there, and I met a wonderful American lady who was a missionary overseas, and that led to me also attending another Bible study group for women in another part of Melbourne. And I also met my fiance at church, and we are to be married in October. And I've made wonderful friends at my church, and with how I've spoken about in my book how I love singing and all of that, well, not too long after I started attending this church, I was put on the worship team as a worship singer to sing and lead with worship. And I also help with the cleaning of the church with these wonderful two lovely ladies who are the elders of the church, and it's just such a joy to be able to serve the Lord. It's a joy to be able to talk about what He's done in my life, and I just pray that this book has an impact on someone somewhere, and that it inspires you to really assess your life and to see if what you're doing with your life is working, whether you really are happy. Because I can testify that when you come to Christ, He will enable you to experience joy, real joy. I can't even describe it, but I have never experienced anything like it. I mean, I can't even say that I've ever experienced joy. That high you get when you're drunk, or when you've taken recreational drugs or anything like that. Like, it just doesn't compare. It's such a natural feeling, and it can come from the most simple, basic activities, like just spending time with your friends or your family. Just really basic things, from reading the Bible. Before I came to Christ, I didn't want to know anything about the Bible, but after coming to Christ, the Bible is the most amazing book that anyone can ever read. It will help change your life. It will help you understand God's point of view, and it is just so relevant to today if you read it with an open heart. So I don't know what else to say in this video other than God has taken me on quite a journey up until today, and yes, it's been hard, and yes, it's been horrible, and yes, there are things that I didn't want to go through, things so horrible that I wouldn't even wish upon my worst enemy. But I believe that He allowed me to go through these things so that one day I'd be able to share them with a person individually, or share it through media such as on here, or share it through my story, and help bring hope that there is hope in Jesus Christ, and that He is amazing, He is alive. He will help you with anything. All you have to do once you've surrendered to Him is call on His name, and He will do incredible miracles in your life that you would know yourself is only possible through Him. And I'm just so thankful that He never gave up on me, and that He kept seeking me out through everything that I went through, every time I rejected Him, and every time I rejected someone who told me about Him, and I rejected them. But when I finally accepted Him into my life, that void that I had has been filled with God's love. And the identity that I used to have of myself was that I was just this messed up person with a mental illness, with no hope of a future, would never amount to anything, would never be happy, would never be able to achieve any of my goals. And yet God has blessed me with so much, all because of Jesus Christ reconciling me with God, and being my Redeemer, and being my Lord and Saviour, and being my best friend, that when I can't call on anyone else and it's 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I need help, I can turn to the Bible, or I can just call out to Jesus, and He will hear me, He will comfort me. It's amazing. God gave me a new identity. I am a child of God, and I'm unashamed of it, and I will tell people about Him till I'm blue in the face of how wonderful Jesus is. And the new identity He gave me was that He gave me a new heart. He gave me a new start, and He gave me a new life. And I hope you enjoy reading my book. God bless, and I will hopefully see you in another video for my next book, or whatever project God leads me to do next. God bless.